Today we'll be talking about Shellos, which can be considered the first Pokémon to have regional forms, due to it having two forms that exist in two different parts of Sinnoh. Its previous BYC dates are April 23rd, 1997, February 12th, 2000, December 3rd, 2002, September 3rd, 2005, July 14th, 2008, May 5th, 2011, February 23rd, 2014, December 14th, 2016, October 5th, 2019, and July 26th, 2022. Shellos having two different forms, particularly among its own region, is interesting and certainly unique. Although Paldean Tauros does this to an extent, although it's three forms instead of two, but not to the extent of Shellos, who never appear in the wild in the same area in the main games. I most know Shellos from my original playthrough of Pokémon Pearl, where I encountered a West Sea Shellos. Anyway, let's get into the Bulbapedia article. Hello and welcome to the Bulbapedia section of the video. Today we'll be talking about Shellos, the sea slug Pokemon, whose number is 0422. This is Shellos. This is what each of its forms look like. Its type is water, ability, sticky hold or storm drain. Sand Force is its inability, gender ratio is 50-50, catch rate is 190 or 35.2%. Breeding, it groups Water 1 and Amorphous, hatch time 20 cycles. Height is 1 foot or 0.3 meters. Weight is 13.9 pounds or 6.3 kilograms. Base experience yield is 73 in Gen 4 and 65 in 5+. Leveling rate is medium fast, EV yield is 1 in HP. Shape is that, footprint is that. Pokédex colors purple. Other forms may have other colors. Base friendship is 70. Purple is interesting. Neither of these are purple. That's very clearly pink. And that's very clearly blue. Shellos is a water-type Pokemon introduced in Gen 4. It evolves to Gastrodon starting at level 30. Shellos has two different forms, West Sea Shellos, which is pink and white in appearance, and East Sea Shellos, which is blue and green. They are found on the respective sides of Sinnoh's mountain range. Biology, Shellos is a sea slug-like Pokemon whose appearance changes depending on which part of the sea it is found in. Both forms have amorphous slug-like bodies, black, oval-shaped eyes with yellow outlines, minuscule dot-shaped noses, and wide yellow lips. Like real-world sea slugs, they have mantles covering the top halves of their bodies. These mantles are outlined in yellow, similar to their eyes. Unlike real sea slugs, however, they have bulbous heads and 4 small feet, rather than 1 large foot. The West Sea form's underside is white, and its mantle is pink, with several small spike-like protrusions on its back. On its head is a ring of pink fleshy knobs, resembling the gills of a nudibranch. West Sea Shellos' appearance is theorized to have been influenced by warm ocean waters. The East Sea form, meanwhile, sports a green underside and a turquoise mantle. 2 yellow-lined, flat-like protrusions resembling cerata are present along its back. On its head are 2 white-tipped tentacles resembling rhinophores that extend away from its face. East Sea Shellos' appearance is theorized to have been influenced by cold ocean waters. Shellos lives along seashores. Its color becomes more vibrant the better quality of water it lives in. It is also believed that Shellos' diet, which consists of plankton, also influences its form, though this has yet to be proven. The physical differences between both forms appear largely cosmetic. No significant changes in capabilities have been observed. While it can travel onto land, it can only stay on the shore for a limited time before its skin dries out. When Shellos' squishy body is pressed or squeezed, or when Shellos senses imminent danger, a mysterious purple fluid, theorized to be a kind of stress-induced greasy sweat, will ooze out of its body. This fluid is its defense mechanism against enemies. Although harmless, it is very sticky and hard to wash off. Shellos has a friendly disposition and is said to have great regenerative capabilities. In the animated series, West Sea Shellos can extend their necks to incredible lengths. It is unknown if the East Sea form can do this as well. This species once had a shell on its back long ago and is considered a close relative to Pokemon such as Shelder. The Nurse Joy featured in Gateway to Ruin revealed Mount Cornet's formation led to an allopatric speciation event in which the original population of Shellos was separated into 2. As a result, Shellos' color and other physical aspects began to vary due to environmental differences and population isolation over time. The 2 forms are still able to interbreed. The child normally takes the mother's form, but takes the father's if bred with a ditto. Recently, East Sea Shellos' population has been declining, while West Sea Shellos has become more abundant than before. Forms. Shellos has 2 separate forms, West Sea Shellos and East Sea Shellos. Shellos. The two forms differ in appearance only. So West Sea, East Sea. Evolution, Shellos evolves to Gastrodon. West Sea, Shellos, West Sea. Gastrodon, West Sea. EC, Shellos, EC, Gastrodon, EC. Game data, Pokedex entries, in Gen 4, Diamond. Its colors and shapes differ from region to region. In the Sinnoh region, two types are confirmed. Pearl, it lives along bodies of water. Its body shape has changed to suit its habitat. Platinum, beware of pushing strongly on its squishy body, as it makes a mysterious purple fluid ooze out. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, its shape and coloration vary depending on its habitat. The Gen 5 Pokedex entries are Platinum's entry. In Gen 6, X is Platinum in the Gen 5 entries. Y is Heart Gold and Soul Silver's entry. Omega Ruby is Platinum, the Gen 5 entries, and X's entry, Alpha Sapphire, is Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Y's entry. In Gen 7, for West Sea, Sun. For the most part, it makes its home along the seashore. Its color and form differ according to its habitat and the quality of its food. Moon. Purple mucus sticks to the hands of anyone who touches it. Take care, as the substance is troublesome to wash off. Ultra Sun. While they normally live in the sea, they can function on land too until their skin dries out. Ultra Moon. When it senses danger, a purple liquid oozes out of it. The liquid is thought to be something like greasy sweat. For the East Sea, Sun. Shellos lives in the sea and feasts on plankton. The lovelier the ocean where Shellos resides, the more vibrant its color becomes. Moon. The difference in color from one Shellos to another seems to be a result of their diet. Note large changes can be seen in their capabilities. Ultra Sun. When it senses danger, it gushes a purple liquid. Some theories suggest this liquid is a greasy sweat induced by stress. Ultra Moon. Scientists interested in its great regenerative capabilities are currently analyzing the materials from which its cells are made. In Gen 8, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are their Diamond and Pearl counterparts. For the West Sea and Sword, this Pokemon's habitat shapes its physique. According to some theories, life in warm ocean waters causes this variation to develop. Shield. Subjecting this Pokemon to a strong force causes it to secrete a strange purple fluid. Though harmless, the fluid is awfully sticky. In Legends Arceus, found in abundance on seashores bordering warm waters. Shellos are unexpectedly friendly and will crawl toward any person they see. Take care not to get coated in mucus. East Sea, Sword. There's speculation that its appearance is determined by what it eats, but the truth remains elusive. Shield. Its appearance changes depending on the environment. One theory suggests that living in cold seas causes Shellos to take on this form. Legends Arceus, found in abundance on seashores bordering cold waters. When pressed upon, the Pokemon will secrete from its body's surface a purple fluid that will stain one's clothes. In Gen 9, for West Sea and Scarlet, it used to have a shell on its back long ago. This species is closely related to Pokemon like Shelter. Violet, it oozes a purple fluid to deter enemies. Apparently there are more West Sea Shellos now than there were in the past. East Sea, Scarlet. A recently published research paper states that this form of Shellos is gradually decreasing in number. Violet, this Pokemon can often be seen along seashores. It's capable of spending a limited amount of time on land. West Sea Shellos in the Alola Pokedex. East Sea Shellos in the Alola Pokedex. West Sea Shellos in the Paldea Pokedex. I don't know why there's not an East Sea Shellos image. Game locations. Saga game locations. Held items. Ranch has the Rindo Berry 100% of the time. Black 2 and White 2 has the Old Gateau as an in-game trade 100% of the time. In Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, it has the Waterium Z as an in-game trade. West Sea, 100% of the time. Legends Arceus, normal. Nanab Berry, 30% of the time. Ball of Mud, 15% of the time. Grit items by level. Alpha, EXP Candy S, 100% of the time. Seed of Mastery, 10% of the time. And grit items by level. I still don't know how the math works. Stats, base stats, HP 76. Attack and defense, 48. Special attack, 57. Special defense, 62. Speed, 34 for a total of 325. Pokeathlon stats. Type effectiveness, damaged normally by normal, fighting, flying, poison, ground, rock, bug, ghost, psychic, dragon, dark, and fairy. We choose grass and electric for double, immune to nothing, resistant to steel, fire, water, and ice all for half. Notes if this Pokemon has Storm Drain, the effectiveness of water-type moves is 0, so go from half to 0. Learn set by leveling up. 1. Water Gun and Mud Slap. 5. Harden. 10. Recover. 15. Water Pulse. 20. Ancient Power. 25. Body Slam. 31. Muddy Water. 35. Earth Power. 40 Rain Dance, and 45 Memento. By TM001 Takedown, 5 Mud Slap, 7 Protect, 11 Water Pulse, 22 Chilling Water, 25 Facade, 28 Bulldoze, 34 Icy Wind, 35 Mud Shot, 36 Rock Tomb, 47 Endure, 50 Rain Dance, 51 Sandstorm, 52 Snowscape, 66 Body Slam, 70 Sleep Talk, 77 Waterfall, 85 Rest, 86 Rock Slide, 103 Substitute, 110 Liquidation, 116 Stealth Rock, 123 Surf, 120 Amnesia, 130 Helping Hand, 130 133 Earth Power, 135 Ice Beam, 142 Hydro Pump, 143 Blizzard, 150 Stone Edge, 171 Terra Blast, 202 Pain Split, 208 Whirlpool, 209 Muddy Water, 219 Skitter Smack, and 224 Curse. By breeding, this group gives it Acid Armor, this group gives it Clear Smog, this group gives it Counter, this group gives it Curse, this group gives it Mirror Coat, this group gives it Mist, this group gives it Sludge, this group gives it Spit Up, Stockpile, and Swallow, and this group gives it Yawn. Side game data for the West Sea, you got all this. Pokemon Ranger, Shadows of Volumia, and the browser entry. It spits source of water to attack. Guardian Signs. It attacks by spitting bubbles that make Pokemon load. Got all this. EC, got all this. Form data. Shellos has two different forms, West Sea Shellos and East Sea Shellos. In most cases, where it is encountered in the wild determines its form. This is purely a cosmetic difference, and this Pokemon cannot change between forms. West Sea Shellos is pink and white in color, whereas East Sea Shellos is blue and green in color. There is also a slight difference in shape depending on the form. In Sinnoh and Hisui, West Sea Shellos is encountered west of Mount Cornet, while East Sea Shellos is encountered east of Mount Cornet. In Paldea, West Sea Shellos is encountered in West Province, Area 2, while East Sea Shellos is encountered in East Province Area 1 and South Province Area 5. Both forms can also be found in Terra raid battles regardless of location. In other regions, only one form appears in the wild per game, with the other only obtainable via trading or transfer. In Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Shellos appears as a hidden Pokemon, with West Sea appearing in Omega Ruby and EC appearing in Alpha Sapphire, and in Alola and Galar, only East Sea Shellos appears in the wild. Bred Shellos are always the same form as their mother, or the same form as the Shellos or Gastrodon parent if bred with Ditto. Evolution data, West Sea, Shellos, West Sea, level 30, Gastrodon, West Sea. East Sea, Shellos, East Sea, level 30, Gastrodon, East Sea. Sprites, so probably not much changes. Colors are, a lot, well, lighter, that's not what I was expecting, actually. Screen's about the same, but the blue is, a lot lighter. That's interesting. I don't know if there's more bumps or whatever. This is a slightly more kind of reddish pink, I guess. This is kind of closer to what the actual modern blue is. That's interesting. Oh, and it's a different, it's like a gold rather than a yellow line. That's interesting. Slightly different green as well there. And then you get the mouth opening, that's fun, platinums, but I don't think really much changes. About spikes change a little bit, looks like. That's interesting. It's the main difference, I think, other than their animation, of course. Gen 5, you get the full back sprites for both of them. Yeah. In Gen 6, you get the modern colors and the models. Pretty good adaptation, I'd say. So it's this darker blue. Okay, so it still kind of keeps it being lighter than that kind of blue, I guess. In Gen 7, got these, not really much changes. In Gen 8, Sword and Shield, you get the much better models. Legends Arceus, you get these models. Homes, you get these models. Other sprites, Sluggo in Pokemon Super Contests, Wiggly in Pokemon Super Contests, Zoomer in Pokemon Super Contests, so I believe these are probably NPC Pokemon in Pokemon Super Contests. Animation, West Sea Shellos in Pokemon the series, East Sea Shellos in Pokemon the series, Zoe's Shellos is the big one. Got all this. Pokedex entries in Diamond and Pearl, episode 41 in Dawn's Pokedex. Shellos, the sea slug Pokemon. Shellos' shape and color varies depending on where it lives. Two different varieties have been confirmed in the Sinnoh region. In Diamond and Pearl, episode 136, in the same Pokedex, Shellos, the sea slug Pokemon. A mysterious purple fluid oozes out of its soft body when Shellos is strongly squeezed. Two kinds of Shellos, pink and blue, have been confirmed. In the manga, East Sea Shellos in Pokemon Adventures, West Sea Shellos in Pokemon Adventures. This. The TCG. Trivia, according to an interview in Nintendo Power with Game Freak, Shellos and Gastrodon were originally intended for Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Both Shellos and Gastrodon have early back sprites that can be found in the game data for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. However, there are no front sprites for these forms. Shellos' early back sprites, that's interesting since it has the head and coloration of West Sea Shellos, but the body of the East Sea Shellos. In Diamond and Pearl, no in-game trainer uses East Sea Shellos in battle, even on the east side of Mount Cornet. Shellos' English Pokedex entry for Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver has the fewest words of any Pokedex entry in the core series games, with 9. the Pokédex entry is carried over to Pokemon Y and Alpha Sapphire. The same is true for Kyurem in White. Prior to Gen 6, Shellos' shape was that. Shellos and its evolution were accidentally released in Pokemon Go on April 29th, 2019, but were removed shortly after. On May 17th, 2019, they made their official debut along with various other Pokemon from Gen 4. Shellos is the only Pokemon with Sand Force that benefits from its Sandstorm immunity, since all other Pokemon with the ability are naturally immune to Sandstorm damage due to their typing. Origin: Shellos is based on a sea slug. It resembles various species of nudibranch, and its ability to secrete purple fluid may be based on sea hares, most of which secrete a purplish ink for self-defense. The Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Pokédex entries mentioning an increase in West Sea Shellos and a decrease in East Sea Shellos may be referencing changes in the populations of real sea slug species due to climate change, with species that better survive in warmer waters becoming more common. Name origin: Shellos may be a combination of shell and loss or lost, referring to its lack of a shell, or the German suffix los, less. Karanakushi may be a combination of kara, shell, nakushita, to have lost, and umi, ushi, sea slug, nudibranch. And other languages, and the West and East Sea, and other languages. Related articles, references, external links, let's move on. Normally, this is the part where I'd say, now let's watch the first scene in the anime featuring Shellos, which we're gonna do, but I have to talk about this. Shellos has been on my mind since the beginning of the series, particularly since the beginning of this year, as I always knew that tackling this would be difficult. Since East Sea and West Sea Shellos don't share the same scenes, and they're non-interchangeable forms, I knew I was gonna have to confront how I was gonna handle watching its first scene. Now I could watch the first scene of both, but doing so doubles my chances of a copyright claim, and by extension a copyright strike, meaning I would have had to do extra work before I could have uploaded this video. Not doing the other regional forms' first scenes sets the precedent that I should only do the first form, but that brings up the problem of Japan versus US. You see, in Japan, they got East Sea Shellos first in Pokemon The Rise of Darkrai. But in America, we got West Sea Shellos first, in the episode A Stand-Up Sit-Down, which premiered after the film was released in Japan, but before the premiere of the film in America. I think the best course of action is to follow what Bulbapedia considers the debut of this Pokemon, which is Pokemon The Rise of Darkrai. So that is what we will be watching. Hello and welcome to the anime portion of the video. In this film, Ash Ketchum, the main character, and his traveling companions, Brock and Dawn, as well as his faithful Pokemon Pikachu, have come to Alamos Town here, where they have met Alice and her Chimchar. Right now, Brock's Croagunk is battling this Infernape here of this trainer. And we'll see the Shellos in a second here. There's the Shellos, Alice and her Chimchar. And that is Shellos' first scene in the anime. Let's move on. Now let's see why other people love Shellos. Now let's look at fan art. Hello and welcome to the fan art section of the video. Nobody sent in fan art, so instead we're looking at TV art fan art. For those of you who aren't familiar with the series, what we do is we go through these images until we find an image that doesn't contain a Shellos. Since this first image doesn't contain a Shellos, we'll start with the second one. So we got Shellos by Chicken Nug3T. So we got this West Sea Shellos here. This is pink Shellos. Very nice, kind of stylized. Yeah, very well done. Then we've got Shellos West Sea by Draculora 29. So Shellos West Sea. So I got this nice, slightly stylized Shellos here. It looks like it was hand drawn, and marker and colored pencil looks like. Very well done. Then we've got East Mana by Elf Coach. So we've got East Sea Shellos and shiny East Sea Shellos. Yeah, very well done. Seems to be white instead of the yellow parts. That's interesting. Shellos line gained the elastic type by Eric GL 1996. So West Sea Shellos, elastic type, and elastic ground type for West Sea Gastrodon, and East Sea Shellos, elastic type, and East Sea Gastrodon's elastic water type. Interesting. Then we've got Shellos by Robin Hillzone Act 25. So these nice Shellos here, West and East form Shellos. Very well done. Then we've got Shellos on its way by Simara. It's nice hand-drawn West Sea Shellos here. Could be from November 2nd, 2024, February 11th, 2024, or February 24th, 2011. Then we've got Shellos East Sea by Mario Sonic 2987. It's nice stylized East Sea Shellos here. Very well done. I've got Shellos West Sea pixel art by Onstage Jungle 1. So this nice Shellos here. Yeah, 422. Yep. Very well done. Then this doesn't contain a Shellos, so move on. Thanks to everyone who submitted fan art. Tomorrow I'll be talking about Gastrodon. As always, this isn't my proper outfit. You'll see me tomorrow.